Here we go. And we're live.
Hello.
So, just so everyone knows, I, don't- I personally respect the Lord of the Rings and its fabled lore, and respect Tolkien very much. And even if I don't know the lore, I know someone else who knows a good amount more lore than I do. So, unlike last time where I was just going doop de doo, I thought that I'd bring on somebody who actually does know some lore. So, Rahm Kota.
Hi.
I've,
I know my
I've been,
name's kind of a Star Wars name, but I
oh,
do
it's fine.
I do like both Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. So no one says you can't love both. So
No, you can't love both.
oh,
Just kidding.
okay, good. That makes the rules.
Yep.
No, I haven't read the lore in quite some time. There's a few things that I'll point out, but because of the lack of context in a lot of these scenes,
Hey, Eva.
I yeah, like I'd have to watch the show, and I'm not even sure I want to watch the show. Hi,
I'd
Evo.
say I'd say that you should only watch it if you want to be part of the conversation and be able to accurately call it out for the shit that it's probably going to be. I, I wouldn't respect calling it out for shit from somebody who hasn't actually watched it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So if you want to be part of the conversation, I do think you should watch it, but possibly by sailing the high seas.
right. And just as I
Okay.
was saying, because there's this story's not really going to be following what Tolkien had laid out, and because there's not a lot of stories, and during the Second Age, which this takes place in, there's like going to be we don't really know what a lot of if what parts of this trailer are actually from Tolkien's because we don't know the context, which I was saying earlier.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And here's the other thing: no matter what anybody decides to bray on about with this, they actually cannot follow the lore because they only bought the books and the appendices, so they can't
Right.
follow the Silmarillion. They can't follow the extra stuff. So
Right.
just by the nature of what they actually own, they're already fucked.
Mm-hmm. That's just why I
But
said, which was why I was thinking that they should have waited another 20 years. I know that's a long time, but they should have waited for the books to become public domain so that,
or
you know,
putting up extra money to buy the rest.
yeah, well, I know Christopher Tolkien before he died, he was very much against uh, the movies and
Oh
having,
yeah, but
and
the
I'm
thing is
starting
that
to see why he was against it.
yeah, but if he was against that and that had any say at this point, then how did they get their hands on the books?
I don't know.
So it seems to me that that it's kind of an in for a penny, in for a pound situation. If
Yeah.
they were able to get these, they probably could have spent another another fuckwad of cash.
How much is the
And
Tolkien? How much is the Tolkien estate willing to?
yeah, I don't know. But honestly, the Tolkien state should technically be more willing to part with all of it rather than just some, if it would mean that they would actually respect the work. By only selling part of it, they've basically guaranteed that they cannot respect the work.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why Peter Jackson's not doing this is because he respects the lore and he knows that he wouldn't be able to do that with what they have.
Yeah, uh, I
Um,
mean, they really are in a rock and a hard place here
yeah,
because let's just say that they actually wanted to respect the lore and not put their modern twist on it, and they actually, without having bought the Silmarillion or those other stuff, they actually did something that was faithful. Would they actually be? yeah, but be legally liable for copyright if they actually respected the lore? I mean, I actually not sure.
I don't know. I mean, they probably could get sued.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They put themselves in a position where they literally cannot be faithful to Tolkien.
And remember a lot of the Second Age. There's not really many details about it, and so that's why they're creating these. They're making up all these new stories to fill in the gaps. They're not
Yeah,
from Tolkien. They're not
yeah,
associated with Tolkien.
you've actually got a point there. If they had actually limited themselves to to the blank spots without trying to pull in the known characters, they might actually have been able to do something.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the thing is a lot of the main characters. It's not really like Star Wars because like the all the lands are kind of connected
Oh
in a
yeah,
way.
that I do know.
Um, so like it wouldn't be unreasonable or out of left field for the main characters to appear like it would in Star Wars, where there's a whole galaxy that.
Oh, oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I was just talking about whether they could do it
yeah,
legally.
yeah. I don't know about. I'm not sure on that. On that,
Yeah,
it's possible.
but without further ado, are we ready to watch this masterpiece?
I'm not, but let's do it.
And keep in mind, I have not seen any of this. I've just seen some various freeze frames that people have been throwing around.
Yeah.
We thought the war at last was ended.
Well, apparently you were wrong.
They're talking about the War of Wrath, I believe. The
Today,
first.
our days of peace begin.
Yay!
We thought our
Doesn't this kind
gods would be
doesn't this kind of
unending.
remind you of the High Republic?
We thought our
A
light
little bit.
would never dim.
The skies are strange.
Ooh. Oh, a black hobbit. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's also a comedian in real life.
Okay.
It is here, Galadriel. The moment we feared.
And black elf. That's right.
No, that's actually the queen. That's supposed to be the quote unquote queen of Numenor, even though
Oh, okay.
even
that's a
though
little
it
bit
could
better.
only be men who were the king of Numenor. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But at least that's not a black elf.
yeah,
And
I guess.
yes, I know I'm racist for having an issue with that. Shoot me, internet. Just shoot me.
I guess. Well, I guess I'm sexist because the books
Yeah.
say that only men can be kings of Numenor. But
Oh, come on, just call her a king. I mean, that worked in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Valkyrie.
that
That
disaster.
movie was bad. Anyway, also based on the works of Tolkien. Yay.
Loosely based.
Yep.
Evil does not sleep.
Does good sleep though?
It waits.
Beyond the darkness, tempting shadow, to bury us all beneath the mountain.
He has no one name, but many.
If you heard of him, lad, if you heard of Sauron,
I just have to say, like I keep on saying, does this really look like 500 million to $1 billion for the entire show? I mean, I know that the graphics are good, but half a billion to $1 billion good?
Well, the thing is that's more than the Peter Jackson trilogy.
Yeah, I know. What wasn't it like 100 million?
Yeah, and and they made it look really good.
Yeah.
And that was how many
So
years ago?
what the fuck are they doing with all this money? I mean, the comment that I had in my last in my last trailer reaction was the artsiest money laundering scam in history.
Yeah, I think the money's honestly, I think a lot of the money is going towards the actors.
Well, if that's the case, then I hope that they use the money well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on their acting or lack thereof until I actually see it in an actual show. So I'm not going to throw any shade at actors.
Yeah, but with all that money, I better be able to smell Middle Earth.
Yes.
I better be able to, feel
That's
it.
kind of why I keep on looking at the images and going, it's pretty, but not that pretty.
Right. Like there's like this, like the scenes with Galadriel. It's almost like a mix between good and then there's her that kind of looks like a PS3 character.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going and discover this legend.
If the evil rising is
It's the
death,
Darksaber.
it will take us all. Find the light, and the shadow will not find you. Together we can survive this.
Yay.
Fight with me.
You have
Wait, was she
my
wearing tank
sword.
tops?
I'll rewind.
Together we can survive this.
Not quite.
Find you.
So,
Together we can survive.
now that's just a dress.
Oh, okay.
Tank top would have been, what the fuck?
This. Fight with me.
Warrior Mage Galadriel. Woo.
Yep. And the only time go ahead.
Not the person I have on screen, obviously.
Yeah. The only time that she really ever fought was against Feanor. And I think that was had to do with the kinslaying, if I remember correctly. But yeah, and even in the Hobbit, where she in the movie where she goes against Sauron, that's not really even in the books. That was kind of just to add filler on Peter's part.
In the book, I don't remember her fighting, but it's been a long time.
It was I think in the book it was very vague. Like the White Council had some trouble with Sauron. But I mean that was just kind of like filler. This is this is the whole premise of the story. So it's a little bit bigger of an issue, but.
Oh, I gotta say, I'm pretty underwhelmed by the last trailer and this trailer so far.
Yeah.
Each of us must decide who we shall be.
And when I say underwhelmed, I'm actually speaking from a lore neutral standpoint, just looking at it as its own thing. It just it doesn't look that interesting. But yeah.
There can be no trust between hammer and rock.
Okay.
Eventually, one or the other must surely break.
There's Eminem.
I've been told many lies of Middle-earth.
Okay.
There's more at the end.
Okay, yeah, there's still 10 seconds. Ooh, a Balrog.
Yeah, now that better be a flashback or a flashback to the first age during the War of Wrath, or a
Or
a
Vision.
scene, or the one with the Durin's Bane
Yeah.
and the Mines of Moria. Otherwise, it breaks the lore completely.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday I watched the Dungeons and Dragons trailer, and I gotta say, I'm more interested in that. In that, it's gonna be a flaming pile of crap, but it's gonna be a funny flaming pile of
Yeah.
crap. I'm on board for it. I mean, I love the original Dungeons and Dragons as my example of I love this movie, but it's a piece of shit, and
Hmm.
that's what this upcoming Dungeons and Dragons
Well,
looks
you know
like to
what
me.
they should do with the Dungeons and Dragons is, since I know there's like I don't really play the game. I don't even know the rules of the game, but
Oh yeah,
I know
and I'm actually pretty big into it.
I do know there's like different settings, like
Yes.
different places. Like they should have done a movie for each one, for each
Yeah,
setting, like
and
almost like an anthology.
there's three in particular that they should do, but frankly I don't want them to do it right now. I want them to wait to get their heads out of it, for Hollywood to get their heads out of their asses first.
Hmm.
And there's Forgotten Realms, there's Greyhawk. Actually, there's four I can think of: Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk, Dragonlance, and and Ravenloft.
Hmm.
Ravenloft is actually specifically a horror setting for Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons, and it has a little multiversal thing going on where the lords of Ravenloft will pull particularly evil people from other realms like Forgotten Realms or Dragonlance into it and give them these little pocket horror dimensions. It's been a while since I've looked into that, but I think that description is accurate.
forgive me for
And
my ignorance, like because I don't know anything about this stuff. But the only things I know are from Stranger Things. So, like,
no,
where does Vecna come from? Do you know?
Vecna is not really part of D&D if I remember correctly.
Uh,
That's everything that they've done in with D&D is using the rule system and just the basics in
oh,
there.
I see.
They're not actually using a specific D&D setting. It's more like a
Uh,
homebrew D&D setting.
I see.
Now, the one that I would like to see done the most, but as long as it's done with love, would be Dragonlance. There's a lot of people who might shoot arrows at me for this one, but I I know my Dragonlance lore like you and others know Tolkien lore, and I would be more personally offended by fucking up Dragonlance.
Well, I won't shoot arrows at you because I don't know anything about it. So
Yeah, it's
I can't be mad about it.
the original trilogy. It is one of the few books that every time that I read it, there's the death of one particular character that that always makes me cry.
Oh,
And and I know it's coming. I know it's not like it's a surprise, but it always makes me tear up. And, you know what I mean?
yeah, I know that feeling.
So if so, I want them to make a Dragonlance movie, but I don't want the people who are currently fucking up by the numbers to make a
Hmm.
Dragonlance movie.
Oh, so Disney,
Right.
pretty much
So
every single studio.
yeah, maybe maybe if Tom Cruise likes Dragonlance and made that his passion project, that would be great.
DreamWorks, please. They're the only company that so far isn't like
Well,
super.
I was thinking about I was thinking about the new Top Gun Maverick. That's why I
Oh,
say
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
If Tom Cruise made Dragonlance his passion project, I'd have faith in that
Yeah,
because his last passion project, I actually gave it a 10 out of 10. I
yeah. Well,
loved
he
Maverick.
actually cares. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm not
I
going to
love how
praise
we're not. I
Paramount
love
for it,
how
but
immediate. Go ahead.
I'm not going to praise Paramount specifically for it because they've done other stinkers. But I will praise Tom Cruise for it.
Yeah, yeah. All of these companies are terrible, but I do love how we immediately after watching the trailer, we're not even talking about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just
That's how
what I said a little bit
uneventful and
early a bit. I'm somewhat bored by these trailers, and I shouldn't be bored. And I'm not sitting here upset about the lore because without you or others tell me a lot of it, I don't know. So I'm just watching it like you're kind of somewhat normie person would watch. What's it here with popcorn, looking at it going, okay, am I interested?
right. I think the only thing that if you only watch the movies and the only difference that you would notice would be that now all of a sudden there are black people in it. That's like the only difference.
Yeah, I
But
guess.
other than that, like I mean, it does a fine job of mimicking the Peter Jackson verse, I guess.
It's very possible that I'm a little jaded in the fact that even though I don't know the lore that's being broken, I know that they're breaking lore. So I'm probably jaded in that way, even though I don't see the specific issues.
Mm-hmm.
And a shout out to a few mutuals that I have who are bitching about Lord of the Rings fans being just upset when black people fuck off. Yeah, I have somebody in particular that I'm saying that to, but I'm not going to name names.
Well, whoever you're talking about, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
If you can see me right now, I'm giving you a friendly middle finger.
Yep. I wonder if he's going to see this.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, it could make for a fun discussion. However, he can start it. I'm not going to start it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I probably won't get involved because me.
It'll be private. It'll be private if it gets started. You probably won't even see it unless I share it with you.
All right. Well, I mean, that's. Oh well, I guess I.
You there?
Hello? Oh, sorry. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so there is a scene that they showed at the Comic-Con that we didn't see. There's a shadow of Morgoth above the trees, the two trees.
Oh, I think I saw somebody. Actually, you sent that picture to me, didn't you? One sec.
Yeah.
I'll pull that up. Nope, not that account.
Just make sure not to pull up the video because you don't want to get demonetized or something. Well, I guess I don't know if you are monetized, but you don't want to get taken down.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't even have 1,000 subs yet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I don't worry too much about it at this point.
But you're right. It does kind of remind me of Elden Ring, the Elden Tree.
Yep.
And the fact that it's the ring is in both of the titles.
Mm-hmm. That's the point. It's in both titles. Okay, let's share that. Let's share that tab. There it is. So yeah, I believe that this is the image you were talking about.
Yeah, you can kind of see the shadow of Morgoth, who is Sauron's master, who kind of made him look like a biatch.
Yeah,
in comparison,
because we all think about Sauron as if he's the big bad, but when you read the Silmarillion, you see that there's a more godlike figure above him, which is, as you say, Morgoth.
Right, he's kind of like what Saruman was to Sauron. He's kind of like that to Morgoth.
Yeah.
And so he and Ungoliant, who is like this giant spider, who is also the mother of Shelob. That spider in Return of the King. She tear down the trees, and once those trees are gone, that's when they brought the sun and the moon to replace them, because the trees kind of lit up the entire world. And with them gone, they needed something. So
okay, and now I know before we started this, you said you were going to have some place you need to be. So
yes,
I should probably let you go.
Yes. But well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was a short stream, but
it was long enough. I mean, a trailer reaction just needs to be long enough for the trailer.
True enough.
Well, I mean, most of my trailer reactions have been like 8 minutes long or so. This time,
oh, true. So I guess this has been longer than normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of reacting. This time we had some stuff to talk about afterwards and beforehand. So yeah,
right.
Works.
All right.
But,
well,
thanks for coming, and have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.